Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Urs back with another video of Starcraft 2. Today we're going to be trying something a little different. This is not me playing, it's actually EG.Huk and Millennium Stephano. We got Huk spawning at the top right as the red Protoss, and Stephano as the blue Zerg, of course. This is a video from DreamHack, actually. I just looked up a bunch of replays. I just wanted to learn new builds, and I decided this looks like a fun match to actually cast, so I actually gave it a shot. So here we got, obviously, Huk going for the Forge Fast Expand. Stephano probably going to do some sort of roach play, because that's what he actually is known for, as everyone knows. So here we go, we got the probe venturing forth to the Zerg base. Hopefully he won't die. So yeah, I actually felt like actually casting. I don't know why. Just haven't done it in a while, and felt like making a Starcraft video. This time actually taking someone else's replay. Trying to actually put up these in a production tab. Trying to figure out how to actually follow the probe, but I can still click around. So here we got a spawning pool, around 15 supply, 2-minute mark. Obviously to deal with this probe, just in case it does decide to put a pylon down, which actually it looks like it's gonna. We also got Huk. Actually, it looks like he's planning to put the Nexus down before even the Forge. Pretty good idea. Late spawning pool, might as well punish it. So there we go, we got the Nexus at 16. Not too bad, not too bad. See, oh, and Huk actually misses that pylon. Oops. He actually is going to go back in for a second scout on that base. He does realize that the spawning pool is now finished up, so that probe has to get the hell out of there. And we got 3 sets of Zerglings actually spawning right in. Looks like they're going to go straight to the natural expansion. And Huk's still chilling with this probe. I don't know what he's doing. But the Zerglings are finished. They are making his way over to the base. And here we go, Huk with the weird wall off here. Finally putting down that photon cannon. He realizes he has to do it now. He does scout the Zerglings coming into his base through that watchtower. And obviously Stephano looking for those proxy pylons pretty much everywhere with this one Zergling. And yeah, we actually don't see an early third. Oh, looks like Huk is planning to do some sort of cannon pressure. But and it does look like it actually is going to get scouted by Stephano. Yeah, there we go. Here's the cancel. Natural is finally up. Queen making her fat ass way down to the natural, and the third coming up. Looks like Stephano is actually going to push in with these Zerglings. Maybe get a scout off, or even pick off some, like this lonely probe, these 2 probes. I don't know how well this is going to go over. But here we go. Here's somewhat of a harassment. Another Zergling going down by Stephano. Oh, and actually brilliant micro just to fend off these probes, keep them alive for as long as possible. And there we go, another micro. That is actually brilliant. Yeah, we got overlords getting to position, finally getting a little bit of saturation on that natural expansion. Same with Huk. But it doesn't look like he's actually making so much out of this gateway or even getting warp gate research. It looks like his gas is a little bit behind. Not sure what the reason for that is. Maybe just chrono boosting out a little bit more of those probes. But it looks like Huk just scouting to see if he actually went for that third base. But nothing else coming out of these gateways at all, besides that one zealot and another probe, maybe to block off the 4th if he plans to do plans to actually go for it. Yeah, it looks like not much going on here. Usually around the 7-minute mark is when stuff starts getting interesting. So obviously that zealot actually making his way back. He doesn't realize he can do any damage to this third, but he can take the watchtower, even get an engagement with these Zerglings, almost killing that one. But he does not have that +1 upgrade. As you can see on 0-0. But here we go. Gateway's coming down. Oh my. Looks like a 7-gate all in by Huk. Chrono boosting out that warp gate, getting +1 attack. And pretty full saturation on that base. Doesn't look like he's grabbing gas, although he might do it later. Here we go. We got these Zerglings following around this probe. So obviously it looks like Huk's trying to do some sort of aggression, but this pylon does get picked off. But yeah, good thing there actually is another pylon. But as you can see, full sets of Zerglings and roaches coming out of these larvae. Here we go. Huk's trying to do something with this zealot. Doesn't look like he actually does anything with that zealot. And here we go. We got 2 more gas coming down from Huk. So he realized he can't do that much damage. Or maybe it was just a fake out to make Stephano actually make more army than he actually wanted to, instead of making drones. So that could be a little thing that Huk did. As you see, these zealots, so these Zerglings are backing away from this army. Looks like Huk also wants to take a third of his own, but he doesn't realize. Oh, here we go. And speed finally kicking in for Stephano. He does realize that he wants to go for that expansion and attacks it directly. Huk hopefully getting off the cancel. Yeah, getting the cancel off right at the right time. Still didn't get that pylon, but here we go. We got the roaches coming in from behind. Oh my god. Look at these Zerglings surrounding these sentries. These sentries are going to go down. Looks like it. Yeah, these sentries are going to go down. These roaches doing somewhat substantial damage. These sentries pretty much almost dead. That's about 400 gas lost from Huk. Huk's not looking too good right now. So we do have a slight lead by Stephano. Here we go. So he has 1 gas. Well, 4 gases up. I wonder what he plans to do with those gases. Obviously you can see evolve glail, I don't even know, reconstruction on the roaches so they can move faster. So obviously Stephano going for the roach 3 base pressure, well, somewhat of an all-in, even though in Zerg pretty much just, oh, and the 4th base coming down from Stephano. And what's weird about these DreamHack maps is these expansions don't really supply that much. Like, as we can see, 5 to, oh, he is taking another base too. 5 to 8 mineral patches, so he is going for that 4th and 5th. So this isn't an all-in, but he wants to apply that sort of pressure. Maybe make him think that he is going all in. But as we can see, Huk getting that 4th base up, getting it fully saturated. These probes are going back for no reason. Yeah, we got a few cannons, got a pretty decent defense, so he has some time to actually make his way back over to the expansion if Stephano does decide to actually engage and try to take out this expansion. So we actually do have a war prism on the way. Let's see what he's going to do with that. But also we got a little bit of aggression from these roaches. See what they can do. They actually do pick off a sentry. And so far nothing is lost. And it does look like Stephano wants to take out some of these probes, but it doesn't look like it's going to do too much damage. Maybe a couple probes. Let's see. So Stephano may be killing about 4 workers. 8 in total. Oh, there's 5 or 6. So about 6 workers, and he's making his way back. So kind of doing a little bit of aggression, so he knows that he's safe to bring up these bases. But it does look like Huk making his way over, see what he can do to actually come back into his, because he might realize that he actually is a little bit behind. You can see Stephano actually floating quite a bit of minerals, and actually just minerals. Maybe he decides to bank it just so he can make the desired army that he wants, consider to do that. But as you can see, Huk actually taking down an expansion and walking away, so it's very good. Very good stuff. We got Stephano. All base is pretty much saturated. We actually do see that war prism, which I actually missed, I apologize. That war prism actually warping in a few zealots to cause some kerfuffle, but it doesn't look like too much extreme damage. But as you can see, oh, I wish there was an easy way to actually go to this. Where is it? So we do have Twilight and Robo Bay coming down from Huck, and also Aspire coming down from Stephano. So maybe into late game Broodlords is what I'm expecting. So it looks like Stephano actually does want to scout around, maybe go for that third, sorry, take it down. But yeah. So we do see the creep spread pretty decent on Stephano's side. He could use this, and oh, he actually just started it. But it looks like Stephano's just trying to go for map control, which he does have entirely. So we got Robo finishing up from Huck. Looks like he's doing a little bit of scouting with these Zerglings to see where exactly the army is. And Stephano backing right out of there, doesn't realize, or doesn't have the roaches or army to actually take on this directly. I think he has a pretty decent army, actually. So I don't really know what he's doing. Maybe just kind of waiting out, see what he can do to actually get up these expansions. Maybe even take another one. I would feel pretty safe taking another one. As you can see, Huck only +1 upgrades, and Stephano with only 1 defense. So not exactly the most upgraded game ever, but see how it plays out. We actually see +2 actually being chronoed out, and Colossus. So finally getting those Colossus out and range. So you can see what he's going to do with that. Maybe apply some aggression. We do have Templar Archives somewhere. There we go. Templar Archives going down. Maybe for Archons, what I'm expecting, because there is quite a bit of roaches out. So Archons would be better than Storm. Let's see. Yeah, it does look like he's actually going to go for Archons and taking out these destructible rocks to apply some more, I don't even know what you call it. Wait, he's going to see if Stephano's actually going to engage. So he's getting out a decent concave on this. So he has this defense. We do see range finally finishing up, and he actually is getting blink instead of charge. Where's the Templar? Oh, I thought I saw a Templar. Never mind. So Huck's still on 3 bases, trying to see what he can do to actually defend. We do have +2 finally finished up. Doesn't look like he's going to go for very much upgrades. Oh, there we go. The Zerglings actually have 2/2, and the Roaches have just the armor, obviously. So yeah, we are going to see Huck actually see that. So he is repositioning himself a little bit. But he doesn't realize that these Zerglings are actually going to come in from the bottom side and actually go for that 4th. See what damage they can actually do, and actually distract Huck into just multi-pronged attacks. Like, look at this. Oh, and actually Huck defends that pretty nicely. But as you can see, just multi-pronged attacks, trying to get it, but it doesn't look like Stephano's going to do too much damage with this. Just killing off a few probes. Oops, where did that go? So actually killing off just about 2 more probes. Not too bad. Not exactly cost efficient, but we actually do see Broodlords finally coming out from Stephano. So the 18-minute Broodlord or 19-minute Broodlord. Decent fungal on those Stalkers, trying to get them down. Does back off and wait for those Broodlords to come in. Trying to get a decent concave, but it looks like Huck is actually getting a bigger one. Not exactly the greatest engagement by Stephano. Stephano needs to back out of this, which he actually is doing. Trying to micro those Broodlords and trying to get out some fungals to buy him some time, but it doesn't look like it's going to do too much. Huck looking in great shape right now, but I think he's going to overcommit himself. Here we go, decent blink, trying to get those Broodlords, totally ignoring the Festitarians that just went down. Yeah, it looks like that army got cleaned up, but the thing about Zerg is they can remax pretty fast if they're on enough bases. And I think Huck's actually overcommitting himself. Gets a decent fungal off. Oh my god, these roaches are just flooding in, grabbing these units. Huck did in fact overcommit. So here we go, Stephano cleaning up this army. Huck is looking in pretty bad shape, even with this other expansion down. These Zerglings just flooding in. And he actually does corner himself into a wall, which is actually a really good idea, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. We're at pretty much 200 to supply to 100. And there's the fungals going off. These stalkers are going to get cleaned up pretty nicely. So overall, a decent play by Stephano, but really good engagement by Huck. But it just wasn't enough to cut it. And actually does pick off a few more stalkers. Oh, here we go, Stephano with just a bit more roaches than Huck can deal with. Even Blink won't save him, I don't think. There's just too much roaches. As you can see, Brewlords are morphing in. Stephano's taking 2 more bases. Pretty good. Good stuff. Huck actually still on 3. This is not good for Huck. Huck is looking in pretty bad shape. Oh my, this game has just turned completely. We got Archons morphing in, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. He needs a mothership or some Void Rays out immediately. Here we go, plus 1-1 upgrades on the Brewlords. Finally getting 3-3 finished. It looks like Stephano's just going to easily ease himself in. And it looks like Huck's looking for a spot just to get rid of these Brewlords. But I don't think it's going to be enough. There's just too many Brewlords and not enough Archons in the mothership. It looks like these Brewlords are going to engage. Huck blinking forward, trying to get rid of these Brewlords, but decent fungals go off. And Huck is just in a bad engagement right here. Stephano backing up just a little bit to see if these Brewlords are, what do you call them? Fuck. Brewlings actually get off like decent hits instead of, well, so Brewlings can actually tank the damage instead of the roaches. But Huck just kind of trying to snipe these Brewlords, but it's just, I don't think it's enough. Stalkers are just not enough for this army, and he actually is just 2-0. He has no armor or weapons upgrades other than that, and Stephano just looks like he's going to take this. He has all the bases besides this one that he can take, and he's trying to snipe. Good sniping on those Brewlords. But yeah, it just looks like Huck's slowly losing this. Oh, he had it too. He had a perfect concave on that engagement over here. But yeah, here we go. Just more drones coming in. Huck trying to snipe, but he just can't. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's 185, 189 supply to 103. Stephano morphing in more Brewlords, but Huck cannot snipe them enough. Yeah, where's that army? I'd just make a huge army. Here we go, more Brewlords coming in. Just all he needs is Brewlords and these roaches, and it's over. Yeah, Huck just trying to hold on for as long as possible. But it looks like this is going to be the end right here. Huck blinking in, trying to snipe these Brewlords again, but it looks like these roaches are actually going to come in from both sides. One side somewhat dealt with. Oh, nope. This line is actually going to completely fall by these roaches. Same with these Broodlings, just tearing apart these Stalkers. And there's the GG from Huck. What an awesome game played by Stephano. Somewhat back and forth right in the middle on this engagement right here. But Huck having a perfect concave and Stephano just bringing it back with that Zerg macro. They're overall a very fun game to watch. But anyway, guys, I'm going to sign out. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.